Shelby, we're so excited to have you and for you to talk about this. I know how passionate you are, so we're really excited, and we welcome you to our Inner Circle December presentation. And I'll pass it off to you, Shelby.
Thank you.
Woo! Yay!
Thank you. Nothing new. We're going to be talking about Sex with Shakespeare. But when I was thinking about like what I wanted to discuss, I've been tossing Twelfth Night, the play Twelfth Night around in my head. And I love how it clearly defines gender roles and then how to break them. So that's what this presentation is going to be about today. And I'm pretty excited about it. Oops, sorry. Hi, that's me. This is our little agenda. My background is in literature, obviously. I have zero background in therapy or psychology or any of that. So I'm really coming at the Sexual Health Alliance with like a different goal in mind, since I don't want to have a practice speaking on the same conversation, but I do want to like educate and I do want to teach. And I think that Shakespeare, which is what all of my two English degrees are in, is specifically Shakespeare in the early modern period, is a really interesting and fun way to actually do that. And I think it's an unknown way of doing that. So this is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to start with why Shakespeare. We'll break down Twelfth Night of the play, and then getting into the gender spectrum that he presents, as well as the three characters that I'll talk about, and then wrap it up for you in a nice little bow. So Sex with Shakespeare, I imagine the majority of you have read a Shakespeare play. Most of us have in our curriculums in high school, middle school, whatever, even core college class. I believe that Shakespeare is a tool to teach sex education. I think that the first reason is that it levels the playing field. His works are over 400 years old. This work in particular was published in 1602. And we physically cannot comprehend what life was like for the early modern period. We don't know anything about, because none of us were there. We have no firsthand experience of being in the early modern period, which sets us apart and allows for more unbiased opinions and thought, because we have no real connection to it. It also requires some additional scholarship. You know, you're going to be talking about the early modern period, you kind of have to set the scene, you know, pun intended, with what is going on politically, why Shakespeare is writing about what he's writing about. You would have these conversations anyway. So before even getting to the actual content of the play, you're already creating a space for conversation about the difference between current modern day and Shakespeare's time, and allowing like this mirror balance to play out. Another reason that I think Shakespeare is this hidden tool is because he's already universal. I mean, he's translated into so many different languages. There are adaptions, movie adaptions, and different presentations and plays, all in other languages as well. He's arguably the most well-known playwright, and you just can't go anywhere without knowing about Shakespeare. So he's already in the curriculum, which I think is a key to, you know, bringing, if actually enacting something with this. And then the third piece is that because it's literature, you kind of can't be wrong. And what I mean by that, and it ties in with it being so old, is that it's very open to interpretation and discussion. You know, obviously Shakespeare is not here to tell us what his plays meant. Now we have Shakespeare scholars. I hope to be one of those one day, and we can kind of guess what Shakespeare was trying to mean. But even so, there are many, many Shakespeare scholars who do not believe any of the sexual things that I'm going to talk about today. You know, they see Shakespeare as extremely traditional. It's Romeo and Juliet, they love each other, and then they have to die. It has nothing to do with homosexuality, which is my take entirely. So you can have multiple conversations about the same thing in this one space. It also allows for the discussion of just language in general, the fluidity of language, how language has changed in 400, 500 years, how we have words now that they didn't have, but still have the definition, I think is super important. kind of seeing how the magic of language transformation. And then, of course, adding other factors like other scholarship. And, you can really, it's so adaptable that you can go into any avenue with it and then pull in any additional resources from the modern day to like balance it out. So, Twelfth Night, or What You Will, is the like second part of that title. It was published in 1602, which was 420 years ago, which is crazy. I can't conceptualize that. The major themes are boiled down, very, very, sparse here, but the first are identity and disguise. We've got actual like costumes and disguises. There are literal and physical masks that the characters wear. A lot of like honesty and truth versus lies, that sort of stuff. I like to say another theme is life's practical magic. It's actually a play that has a lot to do with astrology. They talk about the constellations and the zodiac signs, and that one character is a Taurus that they mention. And so the joke about that, which I just thought was really fun. I'm very into astrology. And so I kind of love seeing it translated into other factors of my life. But twins also, it's a set of twins. And, certainly back then, science is not at all what it is now. So they wouldn't have understood like how twins are created. So I think that there was, like a magic to it that you have twins and the connection that they have together. And then love triangles and relationships, love at first sight, but also how relationships can extend beyond expectations. And that's kind of what we're going to get into. This play is widely known because of She's the Man, one of the greatest movies ever created in 2006, I think. Starring Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum. I'm going to be using photos from the movie to kind of like help convey some of my thoughts, but if you will.